Hello. Hello, hello. Happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? Can you hear me okay? We'll wait a few minutes just to let people trickle in, and then we'll start. Hello. Hi, Abner. Thanks for being here. Who else is here? Say hi. Hi, Ian. Hi, Sophie. We'll get started real soon. I'm really excited for today's show. Lots to talk about. Hi, Jackie. Good morning. How is everyone doing? I am doing well. It is snowing very, very, very heavily here in Montreal, but I don't go anywhere, so it's okay. Hi, Mom. So feel free to share the link to this live stream with your friends on social media. We can have more people join us. I know solo flute isn't for everyone, but you never know who it could be for. Sophie stayed up till 2 a.m. Wow, reading though, reading. That's a worthwhile cause for staying up super late. I wanted to stay up reading yesterday, but I was too tired. We'll wait just another minute or two, and then we'll get started. Let me know how the video quality is. I'll talk about it again later, but I'm having some internet kind of issues. So if it's really blurry, feel free to tell me because on my screen it never shows me when it's being blurry or not. It just shows me a clear image the whole time, but I know that's not always the case. Ian says it seems fine. Okay, cool. Cool. Feels like just yesterday that the last concert took place, but it was not yesterday. All right, in 1 minute we will get started. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, time is flying. For some reason, the last few weeks seem to have gone by really, really quickly. Like each week just felt like it went by super quickly. I don't mind though. I want to get to warmer weather again. Not that I go anywhere, but I'd like to go for walks. All right. Yeah. Ian, yeah. It says warmer. I want it to be warmer. I'm not going to change my setup to show you because I'm too lazy, but you can see out my window right now. It is a winter wonderland. Truly. I should be playing winter songs. All right, we'll get started. Feel free again to share the link on your socials or with other friends. You never know who might enjoy these concerts because you guys enjoy them. So maybe others will too. And we can all talk and chat throughout the show together. But in the meantime, welcome everyone. This is the 7th edition or installment of Caitlin's Cozy Concerts, the concert series where you can stay cozy at home and not catch COVID. Thank you for spending the next hour and a half-ish with me. I begin every concert with a land acknowledgement. I want to acknowledge that this concert is taking place in Jojage, Montreal, on the traditional territory of the St. Lawrence Iroquoians, the Kanien'kehá:ka Mohawk, and the Haudenosaunee tribes and nations. I found this information from native-land.ca, which tells you which tribes and nations the land you live on belongs to. You can find a link to that in the description below. I've also included a link to an interactive map, which tells you which residential schools you live closest to. The one closest to Montreal was named La Tuque, and it opened in 1963 and closed in 1978, and it was run by the Anglicans. I want to remind everyone that the last residential school in Canada only closed in 1996, when I personally was 2 years old. We must continue to acknowledge the history of colonization and genocide in Canada and the effects they continue to have on the Indigenous communities across the country, despite residential schools not existing anymore. Each concert, I will be sending half of all proceeds to the Indigenous or Black communities of Montreal as a form of reparations. In the description box, I put my email address and PayPal information to encourage you to send money. My email address is caitlin.berger06@gmail.com. And alternatively, you can go to paypal.me/CaitlinBergerFlute. All of that is in the description box below. If for some reason it's not, let me know, but it should be. So the other half of the proceeds will go towards supporting the work involved in putting on these concerts, which includes, of course, practicing, purchasing sheet music, that's a really big chunk of it, buying proper equipment, maybe getting a quicker internet connection is what I would like to do, and many other things. If you send more than $10, I will send you back a link to a bonus music video with a fun song I recorded, and it's a different song each month. Also, you can sign up to my monthly newsletter. The link is below. And in the newsletter, I spill some secrets. That was not the sentence I meant to say, but there are secrets in the newsletter. And one of them is the name of the bonus piece or song that will go with the upcoming concert. So this past Monday, I sent out the February newsletter, and the people who received that got the chance to know what the bonus song is that would be sent to you today if you send me more than $10. I think you guys will like it. So if you do send me a donation, which will be much appreciated, just make sure to leave your email address in the message section of the PayPal or e-transfer, since I don't actually see it when I get notified of receiving money. So you just have to make sure to write it out for me so I can send you back the bonus music video. And in general, of course, any amount helps, truly. Don't feel bad if you can only send $2 or $5. I will be happy to accept it, honestly. Last month, I was able to send $26 to the Black Healing Fund. So thank you very much to everyone who donated funds my way. This month, I will be sending money directly to Indigenous people in the Montreal community. There's a Facebook group called Settlement Reparations for Indigenous people, Montreal and surrounding area. I've left that in the description box. Sorry. So Indigenous people can post requesting financial help, and settlers can send them money directly through that group. The federal and provincial governments across Canada are still actively causing harm to Indigenous people every day, whether it's by building pipelines across their land or not ensuring safe drinking water in their homes. Because the government is more invested in the continuation of white supremacy over the health and safety of Indigenous people, it's up to us as individuals to step up right now, in many ways, but especially financially, which is why I've chosen to send money directly to Indigenous individuals in need instead of through organizations that need to take cuts away from what they end up giving to people. So I would like to encourage you all as well to check out a course that you can take for free. This is where I pause and look into the camera. I'm not sure exactly where to look, but I look somewhere and repeat the words free. It's a course you can take for free through the University of Alberta. And I've left, hi, Joanne. I've left the link to that course in the description box. You can watch videos, do readings, and take quizzes, and you will learn factual history from the perspective of the most marginalized communities. So please make sure to check that out. Also, I wanted to say Happy Black History Month. I know it's almost over, but I wanted to take time to acknowledge that February is, in fact, Black History Month, and that there is so much wonderful and necessary content to consume and history to learn about, a lot of content and history to learn about, and there are a lot of Black people that you can follow across social media platforms and support their work. Non-Black people owe it to the Black community to learn and listen to Black people all year round, and certainly during Black History Month. I've been reading some really, really great books and posts that I can share with you, so feel free to message me or leave a comment. I could send you recommendations or people to follow if you're not sure where to look or what content to consume. So, along with paying reparations, I'm committed to featuring at least one composer of color and or non-male composer each concert. The history of classical music is way too white and male-centered, so I want to make sure that the wonderful composers of color and non-male composers receive their dues and have their amazing music played more often. Finally, I want to announce a theme for this concert, which is love. Valentine's Day has obviously passed, but I couldn't help myself from making this concert all about love. However, we won't just be talking about romantic love, because that gets enough attention in our society and the media. We'll also talk about the love for our friends, for our family, what not to do for love. And honestly, I've just chosen pieces that I love. So there's, the love of music that also factors into today's theme. Please leave comments in the chat as we go on. I'll be answering questions and comments that you leave. And I really want this to be a space where we can have discussions and have fun. But of course, you're also welcome to just sit back, relax, and listen to the show without actively participating. But if you feel like it, please leave comments like a bunch of you already have. And each concert, I give you a prompt to comment. So your prompt today is to tell me what is one piece of music, any genre, that fills you up with love. So whenever you listen to this piece, the primary feeling that you feel is love in any form, for any reason. So yeah, please tell me. My answers are basically the pieces I'm playing today. So, but there's of course many others. All right. That's my little intro. And we're going to go on to the first piece on today's program. You guessed it, it is a Telemann fantasy. So each concert I begin with one of the 12 fantasies for solo flute by Telemann, who was a white German composer in the 1700s. Today we're on fantasy number 7 in D major. There are technically 2 separate movements to this fantasy, but the first movement is made up of 2 movements kind of in and of itself that just one goes right into the next one. So the first mini movement is a slow one, and it's in the French style of the Baroque period. So this means that there are lots of double dotted rhythms. So it sounds very bouncy and regal and refined. I think you'll be able to imagine in this first movement like a royal court, like at Versailles or something very royal sounding. Then that goes right into the second mini movement, which is like a jig, very bouncy and dance-like, but yeah, quite fast with a lot of moving notes. I like to think of this second movement as really happy and jaunty and just bouncy. Then we have the actual second movement, which is also the final movement of this fantasy. It's also quite fast, dance-like as well, and there's a lot of repetition. So overall, I find this whole fantasy to be very royal sounding. So it's very upbeat and joyful, as if I was playing for the king and queen back in the Baroque period, which I don't know that I would have done. Monarchy, but it's just what it reminds me of. Just something very royal about this fantasy number 7. So I hope you enjoy this fantasy in D major. Please let me know what you think about it. And I'll just repeat the prompt for today is to comment with a piece that when you listen to it, it could be any genre, it could be a song, piece, whatever. When you listen to it, you feel the emotion of love, or you just feel love comes to mind. Doesn't have to be something romantic. Anything that fills you up with love, which is, a lot of the pieces I'm playing today. Let me know as well before I begin if the video quality is okay. If it's blurry at all, just let me know and I'll just wait a second before starting. Just when I've been testing the live stream this week, there's times where it becomes super blurry and then goes back. So I just want to make sure that when I'm playing that you all can see me okay. Sophie says it's perfect. Okay, cool, great. Maybe it's just on my end, but my screen always shows good quality, but when I go back and watch after, it's not always the case. So I can't judge while the stream is going. Ah, Joanne, Scheherazade by Rimsky-Korsakov. Oui, c'est une bonne pièce. Super, super jolie. Oui. Maud says all good. Okay, great. Oh, Ian says, yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Ashat Shalti, Paul Schoenfeld. That's on my list. I have this big Trello board with like literally a million pieces and themes for these concerts. It's like a puzzle every month that I figure out for the next concert. That's actually on my list. I want to do like a Jewish composers theme. Wow, that's really cool, Ian. I haven't even listened to it yet. It's just on my list of potential pieces. Joanne says good screen. Okay, great. Yeah, Abner, I can't use a wire right now, actually at all, because complicated, but yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll start, and the first piece today, as I was talking about, is this Fantasy Number 7 by Telemann. Oh, sorry. Mode says Brahms 3-second movement. I'm one of those musicians that's not overly familiar with Brahms. I've heard his symphonies and other things, but I don't know what that sounds like. But I'll go listen to it after. Merci number 7 in D major. It's short but sweet. Thank you, Abner. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Ian. It's a fun one. Quite different from a lot of the other ones I find. Merci, Joanne. All right. So we're moving on. And this is the piece coming up is the first piece under the theme of love. So this piece is César Franck's Sonata for Violin and Piano, except that I play flute. So I'm playing the arrangement of it for flute and piano. So Franck was a Franco-Belgian white man who was born in 1822. He was a composer and organist, and he wrote in a very romantic style. His Sonata for Violin and Piano was composed in 1886, and I'll just be playing the first movement today because the entire piece is over 30 minutes long, though I did learn it all back in 2019, and I would actually love to play the whole sonata sometime in the future. Anyways, there are 2 reasons why this piece fits with today's theme. The first reason is that it is one of my all-time favorite pieces of music ever. I love it with all of my heart, and I hope to transfer my love of this piece over to you. The second reason is that it was actually written for the purpose of a wedding. So Franck composed this sonata for the famous violinist Eugène Ysaye's wedding. Franck wasn't actually present at the wedding, not sure why, but the piece was presented to Ysaye on his wedding day as a gift. And he hurriedly learned it and rehearsed it with his sister-in-law, and then they played it for their wedding guests. Obviously, quite out of the ordinary, even for musicians, to play a sonata at their own wedding, especially since this piece is super long and super, super hard endurance-wise. So it's pretty wild that Ysaye played this at his own wedding. Clearly, Franck put in a lot of love into this composition, and that's very clear to me, so hopefully it will be clear to you as well. I'll be playing, as I said, just the first movement, accompanied by the website Tomplay, which is a great website. I've mentioned it in previous concerts. It's a slow movement, but with a lot of tension and drama and passion in this first movement. So this is Franck's Teresa, hi. Thank you for being here. This is Franck's Sonata for Violin and Piano, arranged for flute. I would like to learn violin one day, so maybe I'll play it. Maybe I'll play it on the violin one day. That would be cool. But let me know, as you're listening, let me know if you would want this to be played at your wedding, potential wedding in the future, or if you would play this at your own wedding. I'm not sure if I would. The first movement, maybe. Other movements, I don't know. But I do really love this piece. So I'm just going to get Tomplay set up. I didn't want to have it running already, as I was mentioning, because of my internet connectivity issues. So just give me 1 second. That was probably really loud. I'm sorry. My Bluetooth speaker. Well, it says, oh my God, I want to learn violin too. You're buying one? Yesterday I was like, should I just buy a violin and like barter for lessons? Okay. All right, so this is the first movement of the Franck Sonata for Violin and Piano. Teresa says, if you do, I guess if I buy a violin, you'll teach me. Yes. Or Mode, or both of us. Jackie says, lovely, thank you. Isn't it so pretty? Merci, Joanne. I love this. Actually, the first time I heard this piece, it was played on flute. That's how I fell in love with it. Thank you, Ian. Let me know if there were any weird quality issues. Yeah. I've wanted to learn the violin for a while now. Definitely, I won't lie, it's because of two-step violin. And obviously, all the amazing violinists that I know. But it just made me really eager to finally learn it. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you so much. I love this piece. I was debating maybe playing the whole thing today and only doing like 2 pieces or something, but it's a bit too demanding. Even just the first movement is quite demanding, and the rest of it is 10 times more demanding. I'm going to turn this off temporarily. If you haven't already, make sure to say hi in the comments and let me know what is one piece or song, just piece of music that fills you up with love. Just makes love the primary feeling when you listen to it. That piece was certainly one of mine. So I hope you're all enjoying this show so far. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Oh, Jackie says, I think Mahler, Symphony number 1, the passionate slow passage in the 4th movement. I haven't played his first symphony, but I've listened to it a couple times. Yeah, definitely. Mahler is definitely one that like 99% of his music can fill you up with love or just really intense emotions for sure. For sure. My mom says, super beau, romantique. Oui, très romantique. Très romantique. What was I going to say? Yes, friendly reminder that I am accepting tips and donations. Half of all the money I receive will be going directly to Indigenous people in need in the Montreal area. I literally just send e-transfers. I was checking the Facebook group today, and there's people in need for all sorts of reasons, and none more valid than another, but someone needs it for rent, to find a new apartment. Someone else just had a baby and just needs money to make their way back home. So I just see these people's posts, these Indigenous people's posts every day. And I really want to be able to give money to as many people as I can. I usually give at least $10 or $15 to one person at a time. So if you can, honestly, I'm being serious. If you only can give me $2, I will take it. I'll be very, very happy. And I can send $1 of that to someone in need. And I think it's just really important. So if you can, I would love it if you can send some money my way. Also, as an incentive, if you send more than $10, you'll receive an extra special bonus video. I think you will really like the one that I filmed for this month. I can't say what it is. If you sign up to my newsletter, you'll always know in advance. So people who got my newsletter on Monday, they already know. Don't say it in the comments though. But they already know what the piece is, the bonus piece. And it's a really fun one. So you will get the link to that if you donate more than $10. All right, on to the next piece. The next piece actually is 2 short arias taken from the opera The Magic Flute. I will be playing a flute duet version with a recording of my special virtual guest, Ian Wenz, he of the comment section, the Ian Wenz. So Ian is why these 2 arias are part of today's theme, though I'll explain later. There's a funny coincidence that gives it another layer. But anyways, so Ian is one of my closest and best friends. We met at the Orford Music Academy back in the summer of 2016, and we clicked right away. Sophie says, yay, Mozart, yay for Ian. Yes! Ian is an incredibly talented musician. He's a flutist and teacher, as well as a dedicated and accomplished runner. He is one of the most inspiring and beautiful people that I know, and I love him so much. And I just want to say, mini TED Talk, bear with me. The love you have with your friends is just as important and valid and beautiful as the love that you may or may not share with a romantic partner in your life. I don't have a romantic partner right now. I've only had one previously in my life, and it was okay. So I've always placed my friends above romantic pursuits, which is just my personal choice. But I just want to say that your life can be fulfilling and happy just by having close friends that you love deeply. You don't need a romantic partner to be fulfilled. Just throwing that out there in case someone needed to hear that today. You never know. Hi, Ian. Abner says, Orford, I know. Orford is my home away from home. Like, truly. Oh, I love you too, Ian. So while Ian and I were studying at Orford with Julien Badima, who is an amazing flutist, we would frequently go into one of the practice cabins outdoors and play some flute duets. And we loved playing from the Magic Flute Duet book that Ian had brought with him. So we would spend hours playing and talking and laughing until it hurt. We made unforgettable memories together, and this is why I invited him to play with me today. He lives in the United States, so that plus COVID obviously means we can't play in person together, but he very graciously and generously recorded his parts for each aria for me to play with today, and I'm hoping it should work out. I'm going to try tomorrow, once I download this live stream, to put his video next to mine so that when I upload the music video of this next piece, you'll actually be able to see him. I can't do that right now, but we are really hoping that we can meet up together in person in the near future to go hiking together and play flute duets, since the last time we saw each other in person was in 2017. So it's going to be 4 years soon, which is wild. Ian says practice cabins. Yes, for those of you who don't know, the Orford Music Academy is in Orford. It's near Magog, and they have these awesome cabins that I guess are used for like camping technically, but like we would all use them as practice cabins. They were great. So if you don't know anything about the Magic Flute, I have left a link in the description box that I think it's just a Wikipedia page article, and it will give you the plot. It's a bit long, so I don't want to take too much time explaining it. But this opera was written by Mozart, who was a white Austrian man from the 1700s. And we're going to be playing 2 arias from this opera that were arranged in a flute duet. The first one is called, it's in German. I did take a year of German. 1 sec. Der Vogelfänger bin ich ja, which is German for the bird catcher I am indeed. In this aria, one of the main characters, Papageno, is talking about being a bird catcher and not having a wife or girlfriend. He clearly needed the mini TED Talk I just gave. And then the second aria that we're playing together is called Ein Mädchen oder Weibchen. And this aria is, this aria is once again about Papageno, lamenting the fact that he doesn't have a wife. That's what I was saying before. I find it really ironic that these duets are talking about love and romantic relationships, but the main reason I chose them really was just because I love my friend Ian, and we just loved playing the music from the Magic Flute. Just a bit of a coincidence. Also, shout out to my sister Erin, who is a singer, and when she was at McGill, she played Papagena in a production of this aria, which is super cool. Papagena actually ends up with Papageno, so he does end up having a wife, romantic partner. Good for him. So wait, Sophie says, fun fact. Oh my gosh, yeah, Mozart liked to make a lot of jokes about farting. Yes, I did know that, and that he was such a jokester. That's what my musicology degree taught me. Ian says you might hear that in my playing. No. Ian, I love your playing. It was so nice when Ian sent me his videos to play flute with him again, even though it's not in person or live. But it's better than nothing. So without further ado, these are 2 arias from the Magic Flute. Just gonna adjust my shirt. Give me 1 second. Jackie says, I only remember things about Mozart from the movie Amadeus. Because I basically slept through music school. But that makes sense based on the movie. Yes, Amadeus. Sophie would remember. We watched that like at least once a year when we were in high school, like in our music class. So such a long movie, but it's great. Fun fact, I think Mozart died on my birthday. Pretty sure. Not like the year that I was born, but obviously. So please give it up for Ian Wenz, who I'll be accompanied by in these 2 arias. Yay, Ian! Thank you. Hi, Erin. Thank you. Thanks, Jackie and Abner. Merci, Joanne. I wish we could be in person. But as I said, I'm going to try and put Ian's video next to mine tomorrow when I make music videos for each piece. If you didn't know, after each concert, oh my gosh, technology. I make separate videos for each piece that I play in the live stream, and then I release one each day of the week following my concert. So if you go on my YouTube channel, even like right now, I have playlists for each concert, and you could find the whole live stream as well as each piece that I play. So I'm going to try and put his video up next to mine when I publish that. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much. Ian says, it was so fun to play with you again. Thanks for having me. I love you. Thanks, Mom. So fun. Oh my God. We had the best time at Orford. I mean, we have great times, now when we FaceTime and talk, obviously. But Orford is like a really, really special time for both of us, I think. Almost forgot what I'm playing next. Okay. If you haven't already, feel free to, first of all, of course, say hi in the comments and let me know what is a piece or song that fills you up with love when you listen to it for any reason. Doesn't matter. We've had some really cool responses already. Lots of Mahler, Brahms. My sister says, I remember the time we went up to Orford to see you. It was so fun. Love getting to see what it was like. You, me, a tour. Yes, it was very fun. Yes. It's such a great place. And the second year I went 3 years. The third year I went, which was almost 3 years ago. I actually hiked up the Mount Orford, or like a mountain a bit close to there, but like long series of events. We took the not proper path. So I literally hiked the mountain, hiked. I can't even explain to you, but it was very fun. I was very proud of myself. And the first person I told on my way back was Ian, because I knew he'd be proud of me because he does a lot of running and hiking and stuff. And he was very proud of me. Thanks, Mom. They're such fun duets. It's such great music. Oh my gosh. Questionable opera in terms of what is said in the opera. I remember when I went to see my sister in it, they had the subtitle or translation and subtitles on a screen above the stage. A lot of sexist stuff in that opera. It's not correct. Yeah, I don't even know. It was just at one point we were hiking up chunks of rock. I'm not even joking. I took the gondola down. I was like, no, thank you. Thank you, Ian. Yeah, it was intense. But I went with all the other flute students that I was studying with that week, and they were all super nice. It was really fun. Okay, so the next piece on today's program is called Unity. It is a short piece for solo flute composed in 2017 by Nicole Chamberlain. Chamberlain is a young white woman born and living in the United States. She has written many, many pieces for chamber ensembles and for flute, and she performs and teaches regularly as well. So I will now read to you the little blurb provided with the sheet music, and it's going to explain what this piece is all about. Unity is dedicated to the composer's oldest sister, Galen, on her marriage to Peter. The piece was premiered by the composer at her sister's wedding during the lighting of the Unity candle. The piece opens and closes with the Gregorian chant from the introit of the nuptial mass, Tobias 7:15 and 8:19. I don't know what this means. The part of the chant that is used in unity translates to, "May the God of Israel join you together, and may he be with you." And then this is the English translation of the text, the full text that the piece is based on. "May the God of Israel join you together, and may he be with you, who took pity upon two only children. And now, O Lord, make them bless thee more fully. Blessed are all they that fear the Lord, that walk in his ways." Now, if you know me at all, you know I'm not a religious person, and I'm certainly not Christian. But I wanted to play this piece anyways to showcase the love that exists between family members, as well as, once again, during a wedding ceremony. Chamberlain clearly felt a lot of love while writing this piece. And just like with the Franck violin sonata, it is quite a lovely gift to give someone on their wedding day. I've come to really love playing this piece because of how meaningful the musical patterns and phrases feel. Sometimes it reminds me of like maybe the Lord of the Rings soundtrack or something similar, but it's also full of simple chant-like melodies, as is described in the blurb that I read. And of course, I want to take time to say that family love is another kind of love that exists, obviously. You can see my mom and sister in the chat. I don't know if my dad's watching, but I know that they all love me very much, and I love them, and they support me, which is great. And so that's another kind of love that is really important to have in your life if, you know, if circumstances allow. Everyone's life is different. Relationships are all different. But yes, that's the other kind of love that I was bringing up today. Abner says, "I remember getting destroyed going up that path, but then fell at 10 fasting and I climbed it the day before in Orford." Oh my God. Wow. That is intense. I was wheezing when I climbed up that mountain. Another person in our group had asthma and she had her inhaler and she was like fine. And she was like, "Do you want my inhaler?" I was like, let's not test my health right now. But yeah, I didn't die though. I didn't even pass out. I was pretty surprised. Anyways, this is Unity by Nicole Chamberlain. Let me know what the themes make you think of. I had mentioned that it's kind of like some of it is kind of like a Lord of the Rings feel. Let me know if you sense that as well. I just want to check in. Is the video quality okay? I hope. All right. If you're a flutist, you should definitely check out Nicole Chamberlain's body of work. She has a lot of pieces for flute and for chamber ensembles, and they all seem really awesome. So definitely check this out. I just purchased the music on her website. Ian says, definitely very film score-esque. Reminds me of some scene in nature, maybe looking down at rushing water, streams below. That's really cool. I hadn't thought of that. Yes. Thank you, Ian. Oh, merci, Joanne. Yeah, it's a really cool piece. Again, it's like with a lot of solo flute pieces, I always wish they were a bit longer. There's always such great material, but often the pieces are very short. So we have arrived at the last piece on today's program, sadly. The concert's not over yet, though. Don't worry. There were like 3 or 4 other pieces that I really wanted to play today, but they're all like super, super long and intense. And I didn't want to. Anyways, it was a hard choice to make for today's program, but they'll be on the program, in the future. I wanted to play some Schubert, Schumann. There's something else I want to play too, but anyways, they'll go on another program. Thank you so much for being here. Abner says, sounds kind of like shakuhachi music. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that either. Oh, that's really interesting. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and commenting and spending time with me today. I really, really appreciate it. If you feel so inclined, you can send tips or donations my way. My e-transfer and PayPal information is in the description box below. And if you send more than $10, you will receive a bonus music video sent to you by email. So just make sure to leave your email address in the message section, and I will send you back that bonus video. So the last piece today is the Undine Sonata by Karl Reinecke. Reinecke was a white German man who lived primarily in the 1800s. He is very well known to flutists because he's written a few very beautiful pieces for us, one of which is this sonata. So this sonata is programmatic, meaning it's about a specific story. Though I did find one website that said that it is categorically not programmatic, but I don't know why. So if someone wants to explain why it wouldn't be programmatic, I'm not sure. Anyways, okay, bear with me. This explanation is going to be very long because basically the story behind the sonata, it is basically The Little Mermaid adjacent. Okay, so obviously not based on the Disney version because this piece was composed in 1882, but this sonata specifically is based on the novel Undine by Friedrich de la Motte Fouquet, who was a German writer. So his novel is about, quote, Undine, a water spirit who marries a knight named Hildebrand in order to gain a soul, end quote. Jackie says, one of my favorite pieces. Yes. Did you play this at McGill, Jackie? I have like a recollection maybe that I heard you play this, but I can't remember. Reinecke? Thanks, Mom. Okay, so de la Motte Fouquet writes Undine, and then the story that he based his novel off of is descended from, quote, Mélusine, the French folktale of a water sprite who marries a knight on condition that he shall never see her on Saturdays when she resumes her mermaid shape, end quote. So this is not exactly like The Little Mermaid as we know it today, but it comes from the same general history that The Little Mermaid is from. So this history also includes the Slavic version named Rusalka, which is also a beautiful opera by Dvorak, as well as the well-known The Little Mermaid by Danish writer Hans Christian Andersen. Also, undines or ondines are a category of elemental beings associated with water. So there is a lot of history to this mythological figure. Jackie, okay, you did play this. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Abner societies are for the boys. Yeah, very strange rules. So in any case, there are 4 movements to this sonata. And each movement describes a scene from the story. But I couldn't find information anywhere about which specific scene applies to each movement. So if someone has that information, please let me know. Because I couldn't find anywhere that explained which scene goes with which movement. So basically, I've taken it upon myself to just interpret that, and I will just tell you what I think each movement is about. So, in my opinion, I think the first movement showcases Undine herself as a water spirit moving through water. You're going to hear a lot of waves in the music, a lot of water imagery, and basically kind of setting the scene, introducing herself to the story. You can already hear all the tension and passion and drama that's part of the story unfolding from the very beginning. The second movement is fast-paced, perhaps representing the conflict of Undine not having a soul, but wanting one, but having to marry a mortal man to gain one. Who wants to do that? There's also a slow and kind of melancholy, nostalgic middle section in the second movement, where maybe Undine is falling in love with this Hildebrand. So it's a very sweet moment, but the movement finishes how it started, very fast and upset. The third movement, honestly, just sounds like a love song to me. It's slow and emotional and passionate. There's a short burst of a fast section in the middle, maybe warning Undine of danger ahead. But just like the second movement, the third movement finishes in the same way it began, slow and beautiful. Finally, we have the fourth movement, and it is just pure drama and explosion. So there is nonstop movement in the piano, evoking the water imagery that's from the first movement, as well as a nonstop intensity in the flute part. I think this is one of the most intense movements of something from that period. This is from the Romantic period of classical music, and I mean, all the music from that period is super intense, honestly. But in terms of flute music, I right now I can't even think of another piece that's this intense, how this fourth movement is. So I imagine it, obviously the closing of the story. And if I'm going by the more common iterations of it, so not the Disney version, this would be where Undine, or the mermaid, loses her loved one and her soul, or even her life. So there's a lot to be dramatic about, admittedly. The curious thing is that at the very end of the piece, the way it ends is with the same musical material as the slow section of the second movement. So I perceive it, or I interpret it as Undine reflecting on her love for her mortal man while she perishes, basically. So we all know that the story, especially the Disney version, is supposed to be super romantic, right? But I don't think it is. I think it's sad. Especially also because this piece is in a minor key, but it ends in a major key. Interpret that yourselves. I don't know. But I like to think of it more as a warning to never give up your voice or yourself for someone else, no matter the relationship. Love is a good thing. It shouldn't be something that negatively affects your life. Obviously, it should not take your life either. A romantic relationship is a combination of people who are already whole and fulfilled internally. And yes, I know I'm kind of taking this a little bit far, but honestly, women especially shouldn't have to literally give up their lives just for the love of a man. We don't need to be doing that in 2021. That's the wrong message of this mythical story. Sophie says cautionary tale. Yes, exactly. That's how I interpret this Little Mermaid history of stories. We're kind of finishing with a negative moral of the story, but I think it's really important. We can discuss this more now or after the piece, but the other reason I'm including it today is because it's one of my favorite pieces of all time, as well as the other pieces on the program. So I just love the music specifically, which is why I wanted to include it today, apart from the warning that this story should give you. Ian says, I really like your thoughts on this. Thank you. Abner says, leave him, honey. He's not worth your literal soul. Yes. Honestly. And obviously it depends which version, but at least in Rusalka or the Hans Christian Andersen version, the man that she loves, he either doesn't love her back or he leaves her for another woman. And then she turns into sea foam. She turns into sea foam. That's not okay. Rusalka is a great opera, though. Again, like bomb music, but not a great message. It is not romantic. Anyways, I'm going to be playing with a combination of different backing tracks, complicated reasons. Just bear with me. The fourth movement, I'm going to use tom play. I'm just not going to set it up right away because it takes a lot of battery, like computer energy, and I don't want it hanging around while I play the other movements. So just bear with me in between movements. Jackie says Flounder was much more loyal. I know, right? Sophie says we saw Rusalka together. Yeah, in high school. We went to see a dress rehearsal of the Opéra de Montréal, I think it was, I guess. It was really good. Really, really good. I love the Song to the Moon, Song of the Moon, Song to the Moon. I played it like on Instagram back like last summer. I love that aria. Anyways, so this is the Undine Sonata by Carl Reinecke. He also has a lovely flute concerto, which is very hard, but okay. Let me know if you hear the, sorry. Let me know if you hear the water imagery in the first movement. It's pretty like classical music writing, but all right.
That is it. That is all. Wow. That went by very fast. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Abner. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you. I got teary at the end. I really love this piece. Even like without the story behind it. Like that's why I wanted to play it today, really. I don't love like Disney fairy tales, but I just really love this music. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Thank you, Ian. Merci, Joanne. Jackie says that piece always makes me so emotional too, especially that melody in the third movement. I know. Thanks, Mode. I remember, I think it was my friend Hunter actually that worked on this piece the first year at Orford. Do you remember, Ian? I'm pretty sure they worked on this together, and I think I'd heard it before, but hearing like Julien talk about it and work on it with people really inspired me to learn it later on. I've never played the whole thing. When I was at McGill, I played the first two movements, I think, in like a studio recital. And I learned the other two on my own, but I never performed them. But I really love this. I really love this piece.
do you think like the scenes I was talking about make sense for each movement? I can't find anywhere that tells me which specific scene goes with each movement, even though that's what, even though online it says that Reinecke wrote it to go with the scene, but I don't know what they are. Yeah, Ian, you remember at Orford. I don't know if they worked on like the whole piece together. I think they did, because I have notes for the fourth movement that I know were from Julien, but I didn't work on it with him. So maybe I did. No, I don't think I did. Yeah. We have arrived at the end of the show. I hope you had fun. I also hope that I can host these concerts in person later on this year, somehow, somewhere. I was even contemplating maybe like doing like what's it called? Oh, I'm forgetting the term. Like having people over to my apartment, just like a few people. What are they called? When like when like composers, like soirée musicale type things, salons. Um, Having like a select amount of people, but my apartment is really small, like really small, so I don't think that would work. But salon, yeah. Oh, she belts, yeah, that too. I wasn't thinking of that, but yeah. Just like Caitlin, yeah. But just because like the whole point is that they're cozy concerts, right? And I don't want to lose that feel to it. So that's why I was thinking like, oh, maybe like, like 3 people can attend in my living room, and then I would obviously still stream. But like those 3 people could pay, a ticket price or something. And then everyone else, it would still be kind of like free with donations. To keep that like cozy feel, because I feel like even in a hall or a church, I would probably still talk the same way and everything, but it often just turns into something so formal. But anyways, can't do anything in person anytime soon. So, Mom says l'une de mes pièces préférées déjà. Yeah, I knew you'd like it. Caitlin, yeah, it's Caitlin's Cozy Concerts. Will be written in musicology books one day. Yes. Yeah, I just love like being informal. Ian, inside joke there. I just love being informal. Like the thing is, like I like wearing fancy clothes, which I don't have many of, but I actually like being fancy, but like talking and my personality just being casual. You know what I mean? Outdoors, yeah, that could work in the summer. I don't like playing outside. You know what? No, I'm not gonna do outdoors. Sorry, I hate playing outside. If it's hot, no, sorry. I don't think I'll be able to do that. I was thinking like if I do it in person in a hall or like a venue, maybe just having people sit in a semicircle or like a full circle around me or something, and kind of asking people to talk back and comment like like you would in the comment section of YouTube. And then of course when I play, but yeah. Ian said I was waiting for that to come up. Yeah. I won't divulge our inside joke. It's just ours. But yes. Yeah, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I had other things I want to say. But yeah, so if you did enjoy today's concert, feel free to send tips or donations my way. I want to work on getting better equipment, getting maybe a higher internet speed, obviously purchasing music. If you didn't know, like, because music history is mostly just made up of old white men, all of that music, or a lot of that music is in the public domain. So you don't, as I understand, you don't like have to purchase it. I don't know. Maybe that's not what public domain means, but anyways, so a lot of the music by women, by just non-male people, by people of color, a lot of that music is just more recent, and it's not in the public domain. So, and these composers are still living. So there's a huge reason why I obviously have to and want to purchase their sheet music. So that costs money, obviously, but I want to, keep including those composers, living composers especially, like Nicole Chamberlain, Alison Loggins Hull, Valerie Coleman. I'm going to play a piece of hers next month. I'm really excited for that. I'm like really excited. But yeah, so the way I was thinking of it, if you have money to spare, you could think of this as attending a concert in person, and you could just think about what tickets could cost for a concert like this, and decide on that amount to send to me. Of course, no matter what, half of every single donation is put together and then sent off to individual Indigenous people in the Montreal area. This month. Next month, I will probably still be raising money for the Black Healing Fund. I haven't checked, but I don't know if they've reached their goal yet. Joanne says, I will be there. Sophie says, at least we don't have to pay for old white men anymore. Yeah, I know. So true. Yeah, and reminder, if you send more than $10 my way any month, you will receive a different bonus music video. Again, I think you will really enjoy this month, if I do say so myself. It's a classic. It has a good backing track. It's fun. I just can't tell you what it is. But make sure to mark your calendars for the next concert, number 8. It's going to be Saturday, in exactly 4 weeks from now, Saturday, March 27th at 1 p.m. Montreal time. And the title of the concert is Butterflies and Fawns and Birds. Oh my. Can you guess what the theme is from that title? I feel very proud of it. Mom says, merci pour ce magnifique concert. À ton prochain concert. Thank you. Merci. I'm already excited for the next concert as well. Oh my gosh. It's going to be great. It's going to be so fun. I haven't finalized the program. I know for sure 4 out of 5 pieces I'm hoping to do. And I'm waiting on sheet music that was supposed to come in already, and it hasn't come in, but I hope it will come in. Anyways. Animals, yeah. No, not spring, Ian, but close. It's going to be animals next month. I don't want to give too much away. I already have a theme for April, but I'm not going to say it now. That's too early. My theme for April will probably just be like a part 1 of that theme, because that theme I have on my Trello board. I have a board that's like 30 pieces long for that theme. So I'll have to split it up. I don't know how I'm going to choose. I don't know how I'm going to choose the repertoire. I have to do that this month. Anyways, I digress. So, okay, this is the end of the concert. Thank you so much for watching. But I decided, because you all know I don't know when to end these streams, that I decided to just formalize my chatting at the end. And we're going to have a segment now that's called Chats with Kat, even though I do not use that nickname ever. But I'm a sucker for alliteration. Alliteration is my life. Caitlin's Cozy Concerts. Hello. So yeah, this is time for you to let me know how you are, what you thought of the concert, literally anything, because I just really like talking. And I'm just home all the time, and I don't see my friends, and I'm sad. And so then when I live stream, I can't stop. So we are now in the segment called Chats with Kat. If you don't want to stick around, no worries. Totally no worries. But because I can't stop talking, I'm going to stick around for a little bit. But thank you so much for watching. And if you've donated, I haven't looked yet, but thank you. And I really, really want to be able to send money to Indigenous people, just because they deserve it and they need it, and it's really important to me. Yeah, Sophie says we live like a 15-minute walk from each other and I haven't seen you forever. I know, right? I'll probably just come and say hi, Sophie. Outside, don't worry. See, I will come say hi soon. I need to walk sometimes. Oui, Joanne, beaucoup de papillons. Oui, il va y avoir une pièce tout à propos des papillons au mois de mars. Oui. Yeah, Sophie, I know. I haven't seen Ian in 4 years. 4 years. Very sad. But we will see each other soon. We're hoping to be able to get together somewhere in Quebec, like maybe at the end of this year or something. But who knows? Yes. So as I mentioned, I'm going to stick around a little bit. Also, if you have questions, Literally any questions about literally anything, you can ask me. Ian says, I thought it was super fun. I love the program, and I was so impressed with how beautifully and expressive you were able to play with all the tracks. So much fun. Thank you. That's so kind. Thank you. I have to admit, I have gotten quite good at playing with tracks, especially like most of the, actually all of the tracks for Reinecke were just audio or like video, but I couldn't see anyone playing. Like it was just basically audio. Well, Tom Play, I could see the music go by. And I needed to use Tom Play the fourth movement because it's sometimes very hard to play with the piano part. But yeah, I've gotten quite good at just playing with audio tracks. It can be really hard, but if the music is straightforward enough, like the Reinecke was, it's okay. Other times, like the fourth movement, I couldn't do it with just the audio on like a YouTube channel. So I used the Tom Play recording, but I didn't like the Tom Play recordings for the other movement, which is why I didn't. 4 years, I know. It's wild. It is wild. How are you all doing today? Does anyone have fun plans for the weekend? I'm going to order food later because also, if anyone has recommendations about like things to watch and read and listen to for Black History Month, if you feel comfortable, please leave them in the chat. The chat's going to stay up, once the live stream ends and it just gets turned into a video. I have the option of keeping the chat up, which I think I do for each video. So if people come across it, they might see your recommendations for Black History Month. Sophie says, now I want to order food. Yeah, if I could. So I have this like running joke about myself, which is that I think the lottery should be like you should be able to apply for like to win the lottery. And I think I'd be a good candidate to win the lottery because I know that like I would not hold on to millions of dollars. Like I don't need millions of dollars. I would have like maybe like 1 million that I would keep for like myself to like use on like expenses and just being alive. And then literally probably even less than that. I would just like give the rest of the money to people. Like I swear to God, I would just give it to people. Also, the only reason I would want lots of money is to order food every day. I don't like cooking. I don't find it fun or creative or like whatever. I hate it. Like I think it's a curse. So I would just, if I was rich, which I never will be or would want to be because capitalism, whatever, I would just use money to buy food every day. Anyways. Ian, I love you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ian. Please, everyone, thank Ian. Clap, clap, clap. For taking the time to record those videos and practice the music and play with me. Thank you, Ian. I love you. Jackie says, I am kind of directing a musical. My grandpa is a playwright, and this random person turned it into a musical during quarantine, so my cousins and I are recording the songs for him for his birthday. That is so cool. Holy crap. Jackie says, basically stressing about putting together a musical. Oh, that is so cool, Jackie. Oh my God, I'd love to know more about it. That is amazing. And Jackie says, if you win the lottery, hire a chef. Yeah, like I love eating. Like I love eating. I don't like having to make my own food. Abner says, invest the 1 million and live off the capital gains. No, I don't want to participate in that stuff. No, I would just give it to people. Like if someone needs money, I would just give it to them and I wouldn't have to worry. Yeah, that's very cool, Jackie. Wow. I'm surprised I haven't really mentioned capitalism in any of these concerts. I mean, I've mentioned colonization and genocide, which like capitalism is a part of, but kind of surprised I haven't really spoken about that. I'm reading a really, really, really amazing book right now called The Skin We're In by Desmond Cole. I'm going to put it in the chat. I never use the chat because, obviously I'm talking, but Desmond is a Black Canadian journalist and activist, and he wrote a book kind of centered around the year 2017 and things that happened in that year that he was covering and a part of. But he also talks about broader issues surrounding race in Canada. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It is a powerhouse of a book. It's awful, but I don't read that many books by Canadian authors. Obviously, I try my best to read a lot of books by Black authors and Indigenous authors. There's a book on my nightstand that I have yet to read by an Indigenous author, but a lot of the times it's American authors, just because there's just so many of them. So whenever I do end up reading a book by a Canadian, I go like, oh right, like we're awesome. Like we have really important things to say too. Like I need to listen to Canadians as well as Americans. Anyways, yeah. Sophie says I gotta go. I love this concert. Thank you, love you, Sophie. Thank you so much. Jackie says add it to be read soon. Good yourself. Yes. The other one that I read, this is years ago now, that changed my life and truly changed how I think about racism in Canada, is Policing Black Lives, I think. Oh gosh, let me look it up on Goodreads. Good old Goodreads. I have to tell you guys, it was just really pivotal to me in my understanding of just racism in Canada and the history of it and that sort of thing. Yeah, policing Black lives. That's what I thought. Okay. Oh yeah, like, I wasn't ever so naive as to think that nothing racist ever happened or ever happens in Canada, obviously. But that book, the research that went into that, holy crap. The research that went into that book is unfathomable. There is just so much content, so many studies, statistics, facts, like case studies, like anecdotes, stories, like it was so it just blew my mind, and it was still easy to read. Like it wasn't like overly academic, because a lot of books, like people talk about reading theory, and a lot of the times it's in language that's just really hard to understand. But Policing Black Lives was straightforward. It was easy to understand, and it was so impactful. So impactful. I borrowed it from someone. I wish I should just buy my own copy. I will one day. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap up soon. But yeah, is anyone reading or watching anything? Consuming content by Black or Indigenous creators? You could let me know or let us know in the chat. Oh, Fred, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, 7. It really flies by. I'm already excited for the next concert. I just want to do it now, but it's not ready. It's not ready at all. If anyone ever comes across pieces for flute, typically solo flute's the easiest, but flute and piano, if it's an older piece, flute and piano, if you have requests, please let me know. I have a million pieces on my list on my Trello board, but even just yesterday, I think I saw a piece that I was like, oh, right, I could do that. Okay. Yeah. If anyone doesn't know, Fred also does like live shows. He's a conductor and violinist. If you want to leave, I don't know when your next show is, Fred. But yeah, those are really, really good. Jackie says, reading Cast right now and Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which, yeah, I recommend it. Oh my god, the Brown Sisters trilogy. I mean, I haven't read, the third one hasn't come out yet. The first two, oh my god, they are so good. I'm not gonna even, they're just really good. They're really good. If you read them, let me know. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Cast. I'm assuming it's a long book, but I haven't even checked. Sometimes I get put off when books appear to be really, really long because my brain doesn't like handle that so well. But Fred, planning on March 18th to celebrate the first year of this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Wow. 1 year. I remember like at the start of this pandemic, I truly like this is a thought I had. So I was at work, like at the store I used to work at, and this was like the Friday, I think the March 13th, where everything officially was going to shut down for 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, 2 weeks. Well, that's like how long it takes for the virus, like to show symptoms, for example, like that it could take up to 2 weeks. So if everyone stays home for 2 weeks, then it's just going to go away after. Like I truly thought that. I was like, oh yeah, we all just have to stay home for 2 weeks. Okay. And then after the 2 weeks, I was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll stay home for like a month. It's just weird because then like in the summer, things basically like went back to normal almost. Like apart from like, not being able to have like groups of people at your home, it was kind of like normal for a while. I like saw a couple of friends. I like went shopping. But now, like ever since the fall with this like second wave, second round of lockdown, like it just feels like it feels almost worse than the first round in March because like also because it's winter, so like you can't really hang out with people outside. Anyways, I haven't even checked what the numbers are like. Does anyone know? Are the numbers better in Montreal? I literally don't know. I'm assuming they're not, but I'm gonna let you guys go in like a minute or so. I just like never know how to finish these things because I love talking. But do let me know what you think. Let me know what you think, obviously, when this is possible. If I had like, I would keep streaming the concerts, but like I would have like 3 spots where like people can come watch in person, like in my apartment. But I just find that's like the easiest thing. And it's like cozy and like very cozy. And like, so I would charge like a pretty big, like substantial ticket price for that. But then also live stream like I normally do. Do you think that would be interesting? Do you think people would want to do that? It's like a VIP thing, I don't know. Let me know if I should do that like later this year. Jackie says, I think generally they're getting better. At least the US vaccination efforts are really helping. Yeah. I would imagine it's the same in Canada. I'm self-employed at this point because I'm self-employed. Like I'm literally just home anyways all the time. I have nowhere to go. So I don't check the statistics. But Jackie says yes, especially if there's a tea, coffee, hot cocoa situation at the same time. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Yeah. Because then I don't have to like book a hall or rent a hall. Like I don't want to have to like pay huge amounts of money for these concerts. They're supposed to be cozy. So I figure like I can move them from my bedroom to the living room. And have like 3, I think 3 people would be like the max where it could still be like spacious enough. Yeah. That would be cool. Because maybe by the summer I could have like 3 people over. I don't even know because now I don't think I can. But 3 is like a small enough number that it seems possible. Only if there's a cat, yes. But the thing is that my roommate's cat doesn't like the flute. So like if she's sitting on my bed and I take my flute out, like just by putting it together, she like stares at me and she realizes I'm going to play the flute and she leaps off my bed. Like she runs out of my room. I think it's because it's really loud and high. So she really doesn't like the flute. But she would be like around. That's true. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'll try and do that this summer. I know. Isn't that sad? It is sad. There are times where she's like sleeping and I feel so bad, but I have to practice. And then she like notices that I'm taking my flute out. So she just leaves, but she looked so cozy. So sad. Anyways, yeah, let me know. I know a lot of people watching aren't in Montreal, like Jackie. But would you, not necessarily for my concerts, but just as a general idea, let me know if you think that's interesting to have like three like VIP spots where you could come and listen in my apartment, and I would serve you a nice drink, and then I would still just like live stream like normal, but I would probably like also be interacting with the people in the room. I think that'd be cool as like a middle step to maybe doing these in a venue. I'm thinking next year, maybe not, I won't do them every month. It's quite a lot of work, maybe every 2 or 3 months. Mom says, bye. Okay, bye. I'll see you later. Jackie says, I might be moving over there by the summer. Jackie, don't tease me. Don't play with my emotions, though. Sorry, it's because Jackie and I went to McGill together. Jackie, sorry, Jackie's one of my best friends, and we met at McGill. We bonded over books at like a flute party, and we became really good friends. And then she went to Vancouver to study. I probably should not be divulging your personal information. Anyways, she left Montreal a couple of years ago, and I miss her. She might be coming back. Oh my god. I'm going to message you later. I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much. I know there's only 3 of you here right now. It's okay. Also, if anyone's watching this later, not live, you're probably not watching all the way until this point. But if you are for some reason, thank you so much. Please feel free to share the stream on your social media. You never know, people might be interested and watch and might donate money so that I can give money back to the Indigenous community, which I really want to do. Oh my God, yes, Jackie, please text me. Okay, thank you so much, Fred and Jackie, and maybe my mom or someone else, whoever else is lingering. I'm really excited for the next concert. It's March 27th, so every last Saturday of the month, and it's going to be all about animals. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I love doing these. I wish I could do them every day. I won't. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.